Very good morning, students. This is Dr. Sangeeta on behalf of Zootech channel. Last video I uploaded the general characteristic features of phylum Ascalmanthus. So the Ascalmanthus example will be this Ascaris lumbricoides. I told you that I'll be uploading the video on that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to split the features, the diet system, the respiratory, the excretory, and the reproductive system in a separate videos, followed by the parasitic adaptations, followed by the life history of Ascaris lumbricoides and the diseases caused by the Ascaris lumbricoides. So I wanted my students to go through this Ascaris lumbricoides, the descriptive analysis of the study, and if there is any doubts, it can be clarified, or you can put it in the comment box so we can answer those comments. So thanks for watching, and please do subscribe our channel, and please don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you so much. Bye. Very good morning, students. This is Dr. Sangeeta on behalf of Zootech channel. Last video I uploaded the general characteristic features of phylum Ascalmanthus. In this video, I am going to talk about the external features of Ascaris lumbricoides. So Ascaris lumbricoides external features, if we take this, it is called, it is the most common roundworm. It is found as the intestinal parasites in man and pig. They are distinct from flatworms and tapeworms. If you take the shape of the body, they have a cylindrical body, pseudocele, and complete digestive tract. It is found more common in children than adults. Nutrition is holozoic. So here the nutrition, we are saying it is holozoic. What do you mean by holozoic? So holozoic means it is obtaining the nourishment by feeding on plants or other animals. So the nutrition is holozoic. Okay, and sexual dimorphism is well distinct. So only the sexual reproduction takes place. There is no asexual reproduction. Life cycle is simple and it is by means of monogenetic. So sexual dimorphism here is females are larger than the males. That is sexual dimorphism. Females are larger than the males. Sexes are separate. That is, they are dioecious. Sexes are separate. They are male and female sex organs are separate. And the lifestyle, the life cycle is simple. That is monogenetic. So what do you mean by monogenetic? They are the one that completes the whole life cycle in a single host. If you take in the Ascaris lumbricoides, it is a roundworm, the small intestine of human, and completes its whole life cycle in man only. So there is no alternation of generation. So it is only a single host, that is a man. So we call it as monogenetic. So the life cycle of Ascaris lumbricoides is simple and it is monogenetic. Checking about the systematic position. In the animal kingdom, it is placed under the phylum Nematoda, class Plasmidia, order Ascaroidea, family Ascaridae, genus Ascaris, species Lumbricoides. So genus A should be in capital and species L should be in small. Binomial nomenclature. So the system of classifying the organism by two names, one with a genic name, one with a generic name, and the other one with a specific name. So genus should always start with the capital and species always should start with the small letter. Talking about the shape, it is elongate, the body is elongate, cylindrical, and gradually tapering at both the ends. The anterior end is being more slender than the posterior, and if you take the size, females are longer than males. Female is 20 to 41 centimeter in length and it's got a straight tail, while male is smaller, being 15 to 31 centimeter, and its tail is curved ventrally. So the sexes are separate. The condition is called as dioecious with a distinct sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism, here the females are longer than the males. And what is the color of this specimen? The fresh specimens, they'll be like light yellow to light pink in color. Semi-transparency of body wall enables some of the internal organs to be seen through it. Definite reddish tint is also caused by the presence of hemoglobin. The morphology is the anterior end of both the sexes will exhibit the same structure. Body is covered with elastic cuticle. A cylindrical body has got 4 longitudinal epidermal cords. What is 4 longitudinal epidermal cords? You can call it as streaks or lines. One is mid-dorsal, one is mid-ventral, and 2 lateral. Dorsal and ventral lines appear pure white in color, while the lateral lines, which are more conspicuous, that is, they appear brown in color. So these lines are simply the impressions of syncytial epidermis, which is much thickened all along the length at the median, that is the dorsal, median, ventral, and the 2 lateral positions. And the anterior mouth is reduced by the fusion to 3. So the anterior mouth is reduced to fusion to 3 means, so the anterior end is rounded, being a small terminal tri-radiate mouth aperture guarded by 3 broad lips or labia. So this Ascaris will be having 3 lips, so it is tri-radiate aperture. So one is elliptical mid-dorsal and 2 oval lateroventral in position. So the mouth of Ascaris is a tri-radiate aperture. Posterior or the tail end of the body shows sexual dimorphism. In female, a little in front of the tail end lies the anus, guarded by the thick lips. So this is the diagram of Ascaris lumbricoides, which is the anterior view of mouth and lips. So this anterior end is rounded, bearing a small terminal tri-radiate mouth. As I already told you, this Ascaris, they will be having 3 lips. That is a terminal tri-radiate mouth aperture, which is being guarded by the 3 broad lips, or you call this labia, L-A-B-I-A. Okay, they are best seen in the frontal view. So one lip, which is mid-dorsal, and it is elliptical, and 2 are subventral or lateroventral and oval. Okay, then they will be having some oral margin of each lip has got a forked fleshy core made up of 2 anterior extensions, that is extensions of labial parenchyma, and bears some minute denticles. And then the outer surface of each lip will have a sensory papillae, and the dorsal lip will bear 2 double papillae, one on each side, and this each lateroventral lip will bear 1 double papilla in its ventral portion, and a single papilla in lateral portion, which is in amphid, that is opening of a amphidial gland. So that is entire view of mouth and lips, which has been depicted for your better understanding. Second one, that is the excretory pore, which is situated mid-ventrally, that is a little behind the mouth. So in female, the genital pore and the anus open separately. The genital pore is situated mid-ventrally at about 1/3 distance from the anterior end. So I have mentioned you about here the curved tail and straight tail. So the curved tail is seen in the case of male, and the straight tail is found in the case of female. So the posterior or the tail end of the body shows clear sexual dimorphism. So it is straight in the case of female, but it is curved ventrally in the case of male, as I already told you. In female, little in front of the tail end lies a mid-ventral transverse aperture, that is the anus, which is guarded by thick lips. Okay, only the digestive tube will open to the outside through the anus in the case of female, whereas in the case of male, the anus is being replaced by a cloaca. So it is a common aperture for both digestive and the genital tubes. Okay, so what to say, the tube chitinous spiculate processes of equal size, they are seen protruding out of the cloacal aperture. These are called as the pineal setae. The main function of pineal setae is what? Which is used to which serves to transfer the sperms into female vagina during copulation. And this tail end of male ascaris is characterized by the presence of genital papillae on the ventral surface. So in the explanation part, I told you there are 50 pairs of pre-anal papillae in front of cloaca and 5 pairs of post-anal papillae behind it. Okay. So this genital papillae of the male will help in copulation, and 2 anterior pairs of post-anal papillae, they are double, while the rest are single. So this diagram, the male ascaris and female ascaris. So the sexual dimorphism is here. Sexual dimorphism in which the males are much smaller than the females. The males are having a curved tail, female will be having a straight tail. Alright. So this female gonopode is there, is it not? So this genital pore or vulva of the female, which is lying mid-ventrally at about 1/3 distance from the anterior end. So, but this genital pore of the male will open into the cloaca. So that is the difference between the male ascaris and the female. In males, the anus is replaced by a cloaca. So in the males near the cloaca, there are cuticular elevations. Ventrally about 50 pairs of pre-anal papillae and 5 pairs of post-anal papillae. These are concerned with the copulation. So the copulation means the animal sexual behavior. Now talking about the body wall, the body wall is made up of 3 layers. One is the cuticle, epidermis and longitudinal muscles. So this cuticle, it is a very thick, tough and a transparent glossy layer. This is continuous with the cuticular lining of the pharynx and rectum. So they are non-cellular and it is made up of albuminous protein which is resistant to the digestive juices of the host, but it is also permeable to salt and water. So that is the main function of the cuticle. And 5 layers of cuticle are present. One is the lipoid layer, cortical layer, matrix layer, fiber layer and basement membrane. So epidermis, next is epidermis, it is forming a syncytial layer below the cuticle. So it forms a syncytial layer below cuticle. So this epidermis, it is composed of few cells. So the nuclei of which in the cords arranged in the longitudinal rows, often occurring in groups. So this fat and the glycogen reserves, they are abundantly present in the epidermis. So I have given you the functions of epidermis too. Now talking about the longitudinal muscles, the circular muscles are altogether absent. Longitudinal muscles, they form a single layer of spindle shaped cells beneath the epidermis and lining the body cavity. So being interrupted at 4 places by longitudinal epidermal cords, the muscle layer is divided in 4 longitudinal columns or strips, that is 2 dorsolateral and 2 ventrolateral. So this each column will contain about 150 muscle cells. So this number and disposition of the muscle cells and nematodes, they form a basis for the identification of species. Alright, now we'll talk about the body cavity now. So the body cavity is the pseudocoel. So it is between the body wall and the visceral organs. There is a spacious fluid filled cavity. This cavity is not a true coelom. So we'll see what is a pseudocoel. So it is a characteristic body cavity of roundworms. So I told you it has been filled with a rich protein, that is pseudocoelomic fluid, and carries 5 giant mesenchyme cells known as pseudocoelomocytes, which will occupy the fixed position in the anterior third, that is anterior third of the body. So the pseudocoelomic fluid that is composed of 93% of water and substances such as protein, glucose, and the non-proteinous substances, that is the nitrogenous substances such as sodium chloride and phosphate. So the pseudocoel, this cavity is not a true coelom. I hope you understood the external features of Ascaris lumbricoides. Please watch this video from the beginning till the end, so you'll have a better understanding of this external features of Ascaris lumbricoides. And in my next video, I will give a lecture on the digestive system of your Ascaris. After my presentation is over, the diagrams will be depicted here. Thank you. This is a diagrammatic representation of the Ascaris lumbricoid. There is a transverse section, there is a body wall in which you can see the cuticle, the matrix layer, the fiber layer, the basement membrane, the neuromuscular process which is leading to nerve and all. So it is made up of 3 layers. I have already told you in explanation part. So it will be having a cuticle, epidermis and longitudinal muscles. So the explanation part, you can see my video, and this is the entire picture of the transverse section of body wall. So this figure is representing the Ascaris, that is a single muscle cell. The cut part which shows the structure in the transverse section. Each muscle cell possesses 2 distinct portions. One is fibrilla, that is a contractile muscular portion which is lying lengthwise against the epidermis, and a granular non-contractile protoplasmic portion which is projecting into the body cavity, and the muscular portion will contain longitudinal contractile fibers which are arranged at intervals. So it has also got fibers for the attachment to the cuticle, and this non-contractile protoplasmic portion will contain non-contractile supporting fibers and a nucleus, and gives out its free surface one or more neuromuscular processes or muscle tails. So the muscle tails of all the cells of this 2 dorsolateral columns, they are ultimately connected with the dorsal nerve cord, while those of the 2, that is the ventral lateral columns, they are connected with the ventral nerve cord. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the Ascaris, a single muscle cell, for a better understanding. This is a diagrammatic representation of Ascaris lumbricoides, that is a position of the giant cells in the anterior region of pseudocoel, and the other one will be the single giant cell or pseudocoelocyte. So, this cavity, the pseudocoel, that is, this cavity is not a true coelom. It is not lined by any of the coelomic epithelium. It has no relation with the reproductive and excretory organs. So this pseudocoel of Ascaris, it will contain 5 giant stellate mesenchymal cells known as pseudocoelocytes, occupying the fixed positions. The largest cell lies on the dorsal side of pharynx, and from it numerous Cytoplasmic strands you can see in the form of membranes, that is in the form of fenestrated membranes. The main function of this membranes, it will cross the cavity at various places, and they form the delicate layers over the visceral organs and the muscles of the body wall. And then we can say the pseudocoelom. It is a large intracellular space formed by the union of this coelocytes. So the the pseudocoel is being filled with a protein called as pseudocoelomic fluid, which is serving for the transportation of metabolites and keeps the body distended. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the Ascaris lumbricoids, in which the position of giant cells, that is pseudocoelomocytes and pseudocele, is well explained. Thanks students. Hope you are clear with my description of Ascaris lumbricoids external features and the diagram. If you have any doubts, it will be clarified. You can reach me through my email or through my WhatsApp. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and please don't forget to hit the bell icon for getting the further notification from this channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Bye.